This is Fluently Fandoms, and today we are ranking the Pokemon starters all the way from Gen 1 in Kanto to Paldea in Scarlet and Violet. Now, one thing that's always been very difficult for me when people have asked me this question, what is your favorite Pokemon? I can't tell you. I honestly can't. I switch between so many different Pokemon, whether they are legendaries or starters or just the most obscure thing. There was a while there where Sneasel was my favorite Pokemon. Bergmite has been my favorite Pokemon. Azelf has been my favorite. Landorus, but specifically Therian form. I mean, I have flipped between so many favorites. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit easier on myself today and focus just on the starters. So I'm going to go in reverse order of what's here. And I don't want Pikachu to actually be at the start. Pikachu should be way up there. And I had to add Pikachu into this tier list. It was not actually featured on here, which breaks my heart a little bit. I started on Pokemon Yellow as a kid with my lime green Game Boy Color. So to not have Pikachu as an option when it was actually my very first starter ever, yeah, I had to fix that. But we're going to start off with Scorbunny. I feel like people kind of sleep on Scorbunny. I enjoy soccer a lot. I'm going to put Scorbunny in the A tier because Cinderace is a great final evolution. The Dynamax and Gigantamax evolutions are awesome. But if we're just thinking aesthetically, Scorbunny, it's just a great little buddy. I don't know. I just really enjoy Scorbunny. And that's the thing. We're going to try to not focus on later evolutions in this video. We're just looking at starters. So, that in mind, when we go to Fuecoco here, and keep in mind we're not talking about final evolutions or later evolutions, I mean S tier. Just the most adorable little pepper crocodile that you've ever seen. Sings in the anime, which is adorable. I am going to count stuff from the animes into this. Fuecoco is one of the greatest starters they've come up with in a very long time, and a no doubt S tier for me. However, Sprigatito. Sprigatido's fine. B tier. I don't have an issue with Sprigatito, but I wouldn't jump at Sprigatito. That said, and this is probably going to be my most controversial thing, I have a really big problem with the water starters of the last few years. Quaxley is an instant D. Quaxley is just does nothing for me. On top of that, I played downtown in my home city for Pokemon Go for Community Day recently for Quaxley. 3 hours in the most populated area of my entire state, and I got one shiny to show for it. Quaxley and I have a bit of a vendetta, apparently. Sobble. I'll go C. I don't really despise Sobble, but again, the water types just have not been good for the last few generations, and I don't know why they can't figure out how to make a good water type, but it is what it is. Grookey. You know what? Grookey's A tier. Grookey's just adorable, and I know that it's based on like the British invasion, and I'm a huge Ringo Starr fan, and so I gotta go A tier there. Poplio is gonna get C tier. Again, not great. However, it dug its way out of D tier for me because, unlike Quaxley, Community Day for Poplio was pretty good for me. I was actually in Chicago during that, seeing Pearl Jam. So that was a pretty awesome day, actually. Litten. This is a hard one because Litten's another one that was actually my starter. I got to go S tier. I got to go S tier because, again, this will be controversial. Litten was the starter that got me back into the game. After I mentioned I played Pokemon Yellow, I didn't have another game until Pokemon Sun. If you don't count Pokemon Go, of course. And that got me back into the main line. So I'm always going to have a soft spot for Litten in my heart. Litten, S tier. Rowlet, I'll go A tier. Rowlet's just funny. And I do appreciate a funny starter. I talked about Fuecoco already. Yeah, good starter. Froakie, the last good water type. That's A tier. That whole line, I know we're not talking about lines, but Froakie in general is just a good aesthetic. Kind of a good throwback with bringing frogs back into it. Fennekin is tricky, but I think I'm going B tier. I like Fennekin. I love fox Pokemon. I always have. Fennekin, at one point, I even said was my favorite. That's a past favorite of mine, but lately, the evolutions don't change enough for me. And it's almost like I'm just looking at Belfox baby. Now for Chespin, I could go B tier. I almost went C tier. And here's why. Chespin's evolution line again, fine. But I think Chespin's got enough personality to redeem itself. But when we go to Oshawott, I mean, I love the little scallop on his chest. I just love Oshawott. Oshawott is my first water type that's getting S tier. And Oshawott was my starter in the Hisuian region in Pokemon Arceus. I'll get to the other starters involved in that later, but I just felt like Oshawott was like the strongest pick that they had there. And I do not regret my choice one bit. Tepig's fun. I could see myself rocking a Tepig if I were a Pokemon trainer. We'll go A tier. But Snivy, I feel like Snivy's overrated. Snivy to me is overrated. Piplup used to be higher for me. But, it's going C tier as well. And this is the first one where the anime actually hurts the Pokemon. Piplup in the anime was annoying and needy. And it had a rivalry with Pikachu that was kind of uncalled for. And it didn't need to chase girl Pokemon the way that it did. Like, Piplup, chill. As an Arrow Ace person, I don't want to see my Pokemon running around chasing, in a lot of cases, literal tail. Chimchar is decent. Little fire Kind of like it. Turtwig gets A tier for me, though, for sentimental reason. I have a really nice, shiny Turtwig with a hat in Pokemon Go that I adore. So it gets an A tier. This one I don't get. I don't get the appeal of Mudkip. Can someone in the comments please explain why Mudkip is so powerful and popular with people? The whole line is overpowered. And as a Pokemon Go trainer, I'm sorry, I'm sick of seeing that line. I can't anymore. It's been in there forever. Now, this is a hard one. Torchic. See, Torchic as a Pokemon doesn't really do anything for me. Blaziken kind of does. Like, the fire and fighting type is kind of cool. But, I don't know. I feel like Torchic in its first form is kind of C tier. Doesn't really excite me. And I'm saying that because I feel like it's just too small to be a buddy, and it's not really going to help you out a lot. I don't really have an issue with Trico, but it just... I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Totodile. When Johto was first introduced in the anime, Totodile became my instant favorite from all of Johto. Still is very, very, very high on my Johto list. Always going to have a special place in my heart for Totodile. Probably going to be my starter for Pokemon ZA. Probably. I don't know what it is about the Legends games, but I think the water types are where I lean, and then mainline it seems to be fire. I don't know why that is. Speaking of fire, though, Cyndaquil. C. Chikorita. C. See, Johto as a whole, when you compare it to Kanto, and we're going to get to Kanto in just a second, but I feel like part of the problem is we didn't get to experience the Johto starters as much as we did the Kanto starters. We can't say that we really journeyed with any starter as much as we did the Kanto starters. And I think that that's going to be something that, because I am counting the anime into this, is going to make it kind of hard. Now, I'm going to start from the other side now. I'm going to go to Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur, I'm really just going off the anime for the next three. Bulbasaur was A tier. You know, he was kind of grumpy, but in like kind of a fun way. But he was also a really good caretaker of Togepi. And that was always just kind of fun to see Bulbasaur take care of Togepi. Charmander, we didn't get a whole lot in the anime because it evolved so quickly. But I'm going to go B tier because whenever I think of Charmander, I think of his trainer in the anime, and I just hear his voice. Charmander! Can't help it. Squirtle Squad, A tier. Gotta be A tier. Or S tier, actually. No regrets, I'm putting it in S tier. Even though I was saying A tier, I meant S tier because the Squirtle Squad. The Squirtle Squad is iconic. And Squirtle was also my starter in Pokemon Go. Which brings me to my original starter. And I cannot put this one anywhere else but it's Pikachu in the S tier. I still have my save file from like 2007, 2008 on Pokemon Yellow. Now, that wasn't my original save file, of course, but I know that it's from that era because all the Pokemon are named after Milwaukee Brewers of that era, Pikachu is named after Prince Fielder. So that alone, Pikachu, S tier, without a doubt. So what did you think of my list? Did you agree? Did you disagree? Would you have put someone somewhere else? Did you think I put some of the Pokemon too high, too low? How about the fact that apparently I'm a water type trainer, even though for the most part I pick fire types? Because here's my starters so far, including Pokemon Go, by the way. It's been Pikachu, Litten, Scorbunny, Fuecoco. Okay, so there's 3 fire types, Oshawott, and Squirtle for Pokemon Go. So 1 electric, 3 fire, and 2 water. However, Totodile is about to even that up with Pokemon Legends ZA. So it's kind of interesting. But the fact that I ended up mostly water types, kind of interesting. Is there anything that can redeem Quaxley? I don't know. I don't know. Will Pokemon figure out how to fix the water type moving forward? Who knows? What would you like to see me rank in my next tier video? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Also, check out my main channel, Fluently Aspec, to learn all kinds of things about being aromantic and asexual and advocating for the queer identities and for the queer community. And as always, take care of each other and yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.